do at the crossroads? Don't turn left. This is the first line in a book that Avery claims he did not write. 2 weeks ago, a YouTube channel called Avery the Mayo uploaded a YouTube video titled Weird Book I Did Not Write, where he shows us a mine that supposedly he never built. Inside the mine is a chest that Avery did not place, and inside the chest is a book that Avery did not write. Inside the book is a very strange message. Whatever you do at the crossroads, don't turn left. Don't be fooled, it's listening. You can't outsmart it, it's listening to me. It's watching me. It isn't from this world. At the crossroads, don't turn left. 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 Over and over, followed by a sequence of numbers. And that's it. It seems impossible that a whole mine just appears in your world without your knowledge, but Avery explains in the description of the video that the laptop he's playing on is from a storage locker. It already had Minecraft installed, and this world already existed, but when Avery first loaded it up, it was just a normal world. He only now discovered this mine a few hundred blocks from his house. So, in that case, what is this book? The contents are strange, and it's not evident what they refer to. If anything, they just sound like some crazy rambling, but the numbers at the end are clearly some sort of code, so maybe we can solve it and figure out what this book is talking about. Except we can't. The numbers go higher than 26, so it's not any alphabetical code. There are 4 sections, not 3, so it isn't coordinates. And in fact, there's not a single cipher that comes up as a good match for this code. If it is a code, it's unlike any code I've ever seen, and I wasn't able to decipher it. So, is that it? A strange, one-off YouTube video and a dead end? Not quite, because for 2 frames at the very end of the video, Avery's inventory flashes a random pattern of blocks, and this time there is a code, because taking the first letter of the name of every block and capitalizing it if there is more than one, you get a string that perfectly matches the length of a Google Drive link, that when you enter takes you to a folder. And this is where the true mystery begins. The mystery of a Minecraft world that doesn't exist. Opening the video named Footage 1, we can see a player in the exact same spot Avery was in the last video, except now he has way more items than he had last time. Presumably this is from his house, and he's come to use this mine in survival as part of this world. The book is now gone from the chest, but it could be that Avery just burned it because it creeped him out, or it's just this book in his inventory. Regardless, Avery lines up with the other strip mine and begins to start a new one into the wall, but when he does, he finds this. Nothing weird, it's just a cave, and Avery walks in to begin exploring, until he stops and sees this. It's hard to make out, but as he walks closer we can see what it is. Moss and grass. This is immediately a red flag because this kind of terrain does not generate in caves. Avery checks underneath it, but there's nothing else either, and when he runs back to grab his torches, he notices yet another patch of moss in the corner of the cave. Again, not natural, but not leading anywhere either. It's only when he heads back down the cave does he see a tree. Avery approaches the clump of greenery, and there it is. A tree unlike any other oak tree in the entire game. Whatever this is, it isn't normal. Avery backtracks a bit, and we get a better look at this shrub, for lack of a better word. And after some hesitation and circling around it, Avery decides to try mining the tree. And he does, with no problem. It looks just like a normal tree, except normal trees don't generate underground. And it's not the only one. As Avery goes deeper and deeper into the cave, he passes larger and larger patches of greenery, coming across more shrubs, and even more trees, and even more moss. He pauses to talk at one point, but instead of commenting on the trees, he brings up something else.
It's weird, we've only
only seen stone. And I guess he's right, the walls of this cave don't have any diorite, granite, andesite, or ores, but come on, there's a bigger elephant in the room here. At some point though, Avery's wish gets granted and the cave turns into terracotta, tuff, and deep slate. The greenery gets larger and larger, with the trees growing bigger and bigger. Until finally, Avery reaches the end. Avery stops for several long seconds, just taking everything in. The room is a giant cave of green, with strange, unnaturally large trees forming a staircase on the back wall. The floor is covered in a massive field of moss, scattered with the strange trees we saw earlier. Avery slowly heads down the cavern wall, being careful not to take too much damage while maneuvering his way to the bottom. He looks around in awe as he explores the chamber, and from closer up, we can see a tunnel right between the massive tree gates. Avery searches around the trees for a few minutes, seemingly mesmerized by the build, and we can see that these gates are made of trees stacked on trees stacked on trees, made of spruce, mud, and oak. But the question here is obvious. What is this place? This kind of terrain obviously doesn't generate naturally, so who made it and how does it just appear in Avery's world? Well, if there's any answer to that question, it's through this tunnel, because finally Avery decides to stop sightseeing and heads down the tunnel at the center of the room. Avery walks through the mud brick tunnel, turning to glance behind him every few steps, but of course, nothing is there. The world is set to single player. At least, it seems that way. Until this happens. Something is wrong. It's almost impossible to notice, but at the far edge of the tunnel, the first pair of torches have suddenly been wiped out. Avery stares for a few seconds and continues walking. Another pair of torches is gone. I'm not scared of torches turning off. And then another. I don't know what kind of practical joke this is, but I already heard you in the... I'm not scared of a game. I don't know why I just jumped down. I wasn't scared, but I felt compelled. I've never felt like that in my life. What is going on here? Things just went from strange to incredibly creepy in a matter of seconds. This doesn't just happen on a normal world, but Avery did say he found this world on a computer he got from a storage locker. So maybe this is just a world that the old owner of this computer created, and it's just some strange adventure horror map. Case closed. Except it's not, because the video files aren't the only thing in this Google Drive folder. If you remember, there's also this PDF, and opening it, we see this. my exploration into a strange tunnel I found in my Minecraft world. I've been playing this world for a while and just discovered this. This is my documentation of the search. Notably, when I installed Minecraft, this world came pre-created. Always thought that was a little strange, but I'm not really sure. This seems okay enough, but remember what Avery said earlier. He found this computer in a storage locker with Minecraft installed. Not he installed Minecraft and this world was there. Admittedly, it's a pretty small difference, but still, why the conflicting stories? Something you may have also noticed that I can't explain is why Avery's name is now censored. He wasn't censored in the previous videos, but now he's both hidden his name and changed his skin, almost like he's hiding from something. But there's still a lot more of this footage, and if you want to figure out what's happening in this world, why it exists, and what it has to do with Avery, we have to keep watching, as Avery runs from whatever it is that's hiding in this world. Avery says he has to keep moving, even if he doesn't exactly know why, and the only way to go is down. Avery takes a leap into the giant pool of water before him and swims down into a junction of tunnels. After some hesitation, he burrows himself in the left wall for air before swimming down the left tunnel. He continues to navigate through the dark water, the tunnel getting narrower and narrower, with no end in sight. Until it opens into a giant cavernous room with just enough space at the top to get a bit of air. When Avery descends again, we can see tunnel openings sprawling across the walls. Avery scans around. There's no marker of where to go, just tunnels upon tunnels as far as the eye can see. And then he hears it. The same sound as when the whispers played previously. Avery rushes to dig into the wall, and as he blocks himself in, we can hear the whispers again. Quieter, but still there, as if they're passing by him. When the coast is clear, Avery digs out. But now what? He has no choice but to gamble on a tunnel and hope it's correct. He scans the walls again, no obvious sign of which one to pick. So finally, he rolls the dice. The tunnel leads to another junction, and again, after a slight hesitation, Avery goes left. The tunnel continues, getting narrower and narrower and narrower until finally he finds himself in the oasis. Avery looks around the room, strangely, almost peaceful. He's in the middle of a square pond, flanked on all sides by the same uncanny trees. He stares off at the water for a second before towering up and getting a good look around. Nothing but trees as far as the eye can see. For a moment, he pauses, before something snaps, and he crafts a boat to get to the center of the lake. Without hesitation, he dives down into the tunnel and plugs up the hole. He makes another trip for good measure, plugging it even further. If this thing comes through here again, it has to break that, but I need to explore. He sails back to the edge of the lake. What it can't avoid doing is loading the chunk. Avery chops a few trees and crafts a hopper with the spare iron in his inventory. His plan is simple: set a trap for the thing following him. But wait, did I miss something? Because how does he know that something is following him? Sure, those torches turned off, and yeah, we heard those noises before, but there's actually an even stronger piece of evidence I haven't mentioned. Remember when Avery said this? I already heard you in the cave. Well, it took me a second to figure out what exactly he meant, but then I heard this. It's almost impossible to make out, but on a few separate instances while Avery was walking in that original cave, he would randomly pause for a second or two, and now we know why. He was listening. Every time he paused for just a brief moment, you could hear footsteps on the stone behind him, stopping just a fraction of a second too late to be quiet. But okay, if something is somehow really following Avery in a single is gone, anything can just swim through the hole and replace the blocks to make it look like nothing happened. But if Avery turns down his render distance and puts items in this hopper, if he then goes far enough away and unloads the chunk,